Hi, I'm Shannon. I am a coach, I'm an energy and sound practitioner, an author, a speaker, and facilitator. And I'm reflecting on what's actually been an 8-year energy journey. I stopped saying energy healing journey because I'm not really, I don't know, on par with the energy healer label these days. But it has been an energy journey and there's been lots of healing. So I'm reflecting on that and the things that I've learned, and I'm sharing some random tidbits about what I've learned about myself, about the world, about all things, energy and otherwise, along this 8-year time frame. And one of the things that's recently popped up is the concept of integrity. Now, this is something that I've been talking about for a few years now. And I don't mean integrity from a morality perspective, so like not right and wrong, but integrity from alignment with self, alignment with core values. Are you in integrity with yourself when you're making decisions? That's what I mean. So, not moral, but alignment. I didn't realize how important this was until I'll say a couple of years ago when I started talking about integrity. I realized that for a lot of my life, and this is most of us have been acting in a way where we're doing things to appease others. We're operating from beliefs, from programming, from things that come from other places, other people. And we don't know any better until we learn that we're doing this. So, an example of this is when I think I was around middle school age, I went to visit one of my dad's offices. And I was meeting some of his coworkers and I met his boss. And I thought I needed to act a certain way and say certain things to be accepted in this arena. So I was asked, how's school? How's things going? How do you like town? How, just general small talk. And he asked me what my favorite type of music was, and I said jazz. Now, I was a jazz fan, although jazz was not my favorite type of music by any far stretch. But I said jazz because it felt like that was the appropriate thing to say in that moment. And later that evening, my dad said, "Why did you tell that man your favorite music was jazz?" And I said, "I don't know. I felt like that's what I should say." And he said, "Yeah, but that's not your favorite type." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I felt like that's what I should say." So I think about that instance, and all of the times where I have said what I thought I should say to fit in. And all the ways that we do that, all the ways that we say what we think is the right thing to say for a particular environment, because we're in front of a certain person or a certain group. That our natural state or our opinion or our just natural response or true beliefs or true desires, preferences are not good enough to be talked about or openly admitted. So when this happens, we say, whatever we want to say or whatever we think needs to be said. And then the real us ends up being hidden. It gets pushed down. And it gets to a point where you kind of lose yourself underneath these layers of the shoulds and the fitting in and the contortions that we put ourselves in to be accepted. So this has to do with integrity because of a recent encounter I had with someone who, I'll say, questioned my ability to do something because of something that they saw, because of something that they read. And I realized that I got really, really triggered in that moment with kind of the person's response, because the old me would have defended myself against this person's response to prove how they were wrong about me and to prove my capability to do a type of service. The old me would have gone through all of my experiences, all of my accolades, and said, no, 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 you're wrong. This is why you're wrong. This is who I am. This is why you need to hire me, for example. And I realized how many of us do that. It's like, no, 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 you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong about me. Let me tell you who I am. Let me prove to you that I am worthy, that I am acceptable, that I can fit in, that I am, not what you've assumed or projected onto me based on your unconscious bias, based on your programming. So the old me would have given a litany of accolades and reasons why this person was wrong and incorrect about their assumption about who I am and my ability. And I realized I had a decision to make about how to respond from an old me programming perspective and a new me who lives in integrity and alignment with certain core values, and to honor all of the healing that I've done this last 8 years. I had a choice to respond in a couple of different ways, to go after something that could be a really, really good opportunity, but where I would feel constricted, I would feel guarded, I would feel not comfortable to express everything that I actually bring to the table. So I had a decision to make to get really clear on how I was responding personally, how I was responding to the situation, why I was triggered, why I would have felt to defend myself and prove myself and deem myself acceptable to someone's eyes who doesn't know me, or live and respond in integrity with who I know I am, and maybe say no to an opportunity that could be really, really good. So the new me responded in integrity with who I know I am, with what I know I'm capable of, and actually turned down this opportunity because of the judgment, because of the projections, because of the assumptions, because of the uncomfortable feeling I felt when this judgment was sent my way. And not uncomfortable because I wasn't capable of performing said services. I'm actually quite qualified to perform said services. And I don't walk around touting accolades. I don't walk around touting experience. Maybe I should, I don't know. But that's just not in my nature. To walk around being like, oh, I have this, and oh, I have that, and oh, look at this, and oh, this is my experience, and oh, like, that's just not me. It never really has been. If it's requested, yeah, I'll give you a long list of things. But that's just not who I am at my core. I let my work speak for myself, for itself, and for myself, actually. And you can kind of take it from there if that is a good fit. So the decision that I made in integrity with myself, with the new version of me that has found who I am underneath the layers, underneath so many different layers of others' beliefs and dreams and projections and obligations and perceptions and like all of the things that other people put onto us on a daily basis throughout our lives. All of those things that I had been carrying, that we all carry until we do the work to identify those things and release them. From that perspective, we find our core, we find our alignment, and from there we can find how to operate in integrity with that core. And I'm not saying this is an easy process, because it is not. It has not been an easy process. But when we realize who we are, what we're capable of, what we offer, and have results to demonstrate those things and more, whether it is on a small scale or a perceived grand scale, that really doesn't matter. Because when we know who we are and operate from that, that is integrity, and that, in my book, is of utmost importance. Because when you're there, it's very clear to make decisions, and then opportunities find you, people find you. A good friend said, just because an opportunity presents itself does not mean you need to accept the opportunity. The opportunity is an invitation to step into who you are at this next level. And I realized that when we operate in integrity, we receive opportunities and we have to make decisions about who we are and how we operate within those opportunities to get to these next levels, to expand, to reach more people, to help more people, to grow for our own selves and our own evolution. So, yeah, this was a nice lesson. This was a nice test. And over the last year, I've been tested several times of, well, who are you? How are you going to respond? Who do you think you are to respond in a certain way? And you don't always know how things are going to work out. You just know that if something feels off, if it doesn't feel like you are acting in integrity with yourself, you have to trust. And trusting can be hard, but trusting also can be well worth it. So integrity is something that I continue to learn. It is something that I continue to be tested with. And it is quite the journey, because it can be a little tricky. But like I said, also quite rewarding in the same token. So if you understand the topic of integrity, give me some examples of how you have also been dealing with the topic of integrity. How has that been showing up for you? How are you operating in integrity? Or if you're maybe not so aligned with your core and maybe a little out of whack, a little out of integrity, let me know how you're working on that. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts. All right, until the next time.